e vale le mie allora, avete bisogno di colorismo come trame a quello che parlo.
we will see the flag from the inside, but I want you to take a picture of it because later on.
Yeah, I think that's another bit.